Is $1 million enough to retire confidently in Washington state? 10 years ago, the answer probably would have been yes for most people. Today, it depends heavily on where you live, your lifestyle, healthcare costs, and how much income your investments can actually generate. In this video, I'll break down how far $1 million really goes in Washington, what monthly income you can expect, which cities are affordable, and the biggest retirement mistakes people make. By the end, you'll know whether $1 million is enough for you. First, let's talk about income. Most financial planners use something called the 4% rule. The basic idea is this. If you have a diversified investment portfolio, you may be able to withdraw around 4% per year without running out of money too quickly. So with $1 million invested, 4% gives you about $40,000 per year. That's roughly $3,300 per month before taxes. Now here's the good news. At that level, Washington state has no state income tax. That helps retirees keep more of their investment income compared to places like California or Oregon. But there's another reality. Inflation and healthcare costs are much higher today than they were even a few years ago. And if your retirement lasts 25 or 30 years, your money has to keep up. Here's where things get really important. Washington is not a single cost of living market. Retiring in downtown Seattle is completely different from retiring in Spokane, Olympia, or Yakima. If you own a paid-off home in a lower-cost area, $1 million could probably support a confident retirement. But if you're renting near Seattle or still carrying a mortgage, things get tighter very quickly. For example, a sample retirement budget in Seattle might require $6,000 to $8,000 per month, while in eastern Washington or smaller towns, $3,500 to $5,000 per month may be enough. Housing is typically the biggest factor. A retiree with no mortgage, low debt, and moderate spending habits is in a dramatically stronger position than somebody still paying high housing costs. And don't forget that healthcare, property taxes, long-term care, and even groceries have all increased substantially in Washington over the last several years. Here's another thing that many people overlook. Very few retirees live only on their investments. If you combine Social Security, a paid-off home, and investment income, then $1 million suddenly becomes much more realistic. For example, a retired couple could receive $3,000 to $5,000 per month from Social Security, plus $3,300 per month from investments, and that could create a total retirement income of roughly $6,000 to $8,000 per month. For many retirees in Washington, especially those outside Seattle, that can support a solid middle-class lifestyle. Not luxury, but you can retire confidently. Now let's talk about the biggest risks. The first is healthcare. Many retirees underestimate how much medical costs rise later in life. Long-term care can destroy a retirement portfolio if you're not prepared. Second is inflation. Even moderate inflation can slowly reduce your purchasing power over time. The third is market volatility. If the stock market drops early in retirement while you're drawing money, your portfolio can shrink much faster than expected. That's why some financial advisors even recommend taking a withdrawal rate closer to 3% instead of 4%. Now at 4%, $1 million portfolio only produces $30,000 annually. So the margin for error matters. So is $1 million enough to retire confidently in Washington state? For some people, absolutely. Especially if you own your own home, live outside the Seattle metro, and receive Social Security while maintaining a moderate lifestyle. But for others, especially those who have goals to travel, help kids and grandkids, or live in a high-cost area, it may not be. The real answer isn't just about how much money you have. It's about where you live, how you spend, and how efficiently your retirement income is structured. I'm Dr. Brock for Kimball Creek Partners, and until next time, make it meaningful.